So I'll tell you the rules quickly. There will be 20 questions, 1 point per question. And at the end, we have 4 star-marked questions. So in case there is a tie between two teams, then we'll resolve them using those particular 4 questions. And a certain death if tie persists. And finally, if we request you all, as everyone said, no Googling. Please don't Google. People who Google are uncool. Don't do this. And finally, QM is God, which means like if there is any tie and if there is any doubt discrepancy about the question, then we'll resolve it and our word is final. So I guess everyone is ready. We'll start with the quiz. Okay, question 1. So these are
Manjuna, just explain the rules to them once and just cover how they have to answer so that.
Oh yeah. So each question, I think in the form you have one field per question, and according to those questions, just answer them in those particular question number the fields, and yeah, we'll just explain the rules as we go. I think that's it, no?
Just make sure everybody's opened the form before we start the questions.
Yeah.
No, you don't need to take screenshots of the questions. You can just type in the answers in the form that Risha has put up on the chat. So there's a Google form link that is on your chat. Just open that Google form and you can enter all of your answers there.
Guys, if there's any doubts, like please ping me directly. Like privately message me and we'll clear it out.
Please, I think we can proceed. Just to reiterate, like there are traps. So in case if you Google what answer you Google, we'll get to know. So just don't do that. I hope everyone has their forms open, and only one person from each team please submit the form. If there are multiple entries from a team, we might have to disqualify you. Okay, let's begin. Yeah, so the first question, we'll start with the Bangalore Fonda. These are old print advertisements of which famous hangout place in Bangalore. So you can see these are very old print ads. On the left, it says, for those who lack direction, we are at Firdaus Complex. That's Residency Road. You can still find the main branch of this hangout place at Residency Road. And the right one is what you might know them now, or like this is Ice Cream Sunday. And so you can see that that's one of their most popular dishes. Think about who would be selling ice creams, and I think you would be on the right track. I think that's enough time for a question. If anyone is objecting for hints, please put it in the chat. Otherwise, I'll not give any hints. Okay, some people are asking for hints. If anyone is objecting, just tell that. Okay, I see a couple of objection. I'll just explain the question again so as to help you guys out. Just think about ice creams and a very famous hangout place in Bangalore. There are not many famous places which sell ice cream in Bangalore. Think about the most famous one and you'll probably get it right. Okay, I think that's enough time. We'll go to the next one. So this is just a comic. It shows how this one certain person has been helping out in these times of need. You can see how he's carrying all these people on his shoulder, and he's even better than all these aeroplanes that are bringing in the concentrators. He says, "Paidal kyo jaoge dost?" That is, why do you walk, friend?
guys, please don't put the answers to us. Like, don't reply to us because we can't evaluate it that way. Or please like look at the Google form that was sent. I'll send it again. That is where you should be filling in your answers. Don't send it to the panelists.
Yeah, just think about this one very famous personality who's been helping out people in these times of need. Look at his face. I think that's enough clue for this question. We'll proceed to the next question. And we'll also have a rollback. So at the end of the 20 questions, we'll again show you all the other questions once again. And if you have any doubts or if you want to check a question later, you can check that again. Third question, which character is inspired from this traditional modern Mongolian dress? So this traditional Mongolian dress inspires the costume of a certain character in one of the most important scenes in a very famous movie. Can give a hint of the timeline. The timeline of the movie is late 90s. I think 1999 is when the movie was released. Yeah, so I'll just repeat that this is a traditional Mongolian dress, and it inspired the costume of a certain character of this very famous movie. So in this very famous movie, in one of its most important scenes, I guess we'll push. Coming to the fourth question. So in the middle of this strait are two islands that are 4 kilometers apart, nicknamed X and Y islands. And this nickname comes from the fact that there is a very important imaginary line that splits the difference between these two islands. So you can see here, the left part is Russia and the right part is Alaska and US. And here there are two islands. And these two islands have a nickname. So they're called X and Y islands. So think which imaginary line comes between Russia and US and proceed from there. You can think of a nickname for why these two islands can be called. Yeah, so you have to answer X and Y. So the first island has a nickname and the second island has a nickname. Think about what imaginary line would be there between Russia and US. I think we'll proceed. Question 5, just fill in the blank, the yellow color blank that is here. So it says parasite, there are 4 dash, and in the blank there are 3 words. You can just give those 3 words exactly. I think in the last year this would have been very famous. Look at the image, look at the font with the color scheme, you should be getting it right. Just fill in the yellow colored blank. We'll go to the next one. So shown here is the Europe map. highlighting a high density of connectivity from a place in Italy. This connectivity gave rise to an English idiom. So what idiom? I think there's a bigger image. So you can see here that it has a nice road connectivity from all over the continent of Europe, and it converges here in Italy. So I think what idiom comes from this? I think we'll go to the next one. Question 7. So the following graph shows the percentage of US viewers the release weekend of movies in the weekend of March 2021. And you can see one movie clearly had a high percentage of viewers. And so the first and the second, the hidden movie, both are related to each other. The first one was the most watched movie in that weekend. But there's also the fact that only 1/3 of the viewers finished that entire movie because it was a very huge, long movie. The second hidden movie was the 12th most watched movie of that weekend just because it was related to that first movie. So you can see that the second movie was actually released long back, but again, it gained a lot of viewing because the first movie was released that weekend. So just guess which movies are we talking about. You can give me the name of either of the movies because they're pretty much the same, but just be careful what movie you're doing.
Hi, folks. It would be better if you message the presenter so that Manjunath is able to see if you're objecting to any clues or asking for hints. So, message the presenter of the session or all panelists, either works.
Yeah, I'll just repeat the question here. So there was this one movie which was released in March 21, and it gained a lot of viewing because it was very highly awaited movie amongst the fans. And as you can see, it was the most viewed movie of that weekend. But only 1/3 of the viewers finished the entire movie. And there was another movie which is related to the first movie, which also got a lot of viewing because it was related to the first one. So it came the 12th most watched movie of them. So just tell me which movie are we talking about. Either of the movie will give you points. Yeah, this is a 2021 movie. March 2021 was when this graph happened. The first movie was released. We go to the next one. The second movie in the previous question was not March 2021. It was sometime back. Yeah, coming to the question 8. Sehwag tweeted this on December 19, 2020. The date is very helpful for this question. The OTP to forget this is, and it gives 11-digit number. So what is Sehwag referring to? Something that happened in December, and he says it's a OTP to forget. So it's a bad thing that happened. What is this thing? What is Sehwag referring to? Something that happened in December. And see that there are 11 digits. Okay, we'll go to the next one. This one's contentious European city has contrasting street lights that are visible from the space. Though irrelevant to the present day, this sheds light on the distrust that once loomed in the city. The contrast is because the two halves of the city once had completely independent power lines and different kind of lights. Identify the city. I'll show you the image, which will help a lot here. So I think you'll be able to see here the left half and the right half clearly have different color of lighting, and so that tells you that there are different power grids for the two different halves of the city. Think about which city would have this kind of distrust between the two halves. This was sometime in the 20th century, in like 80s, when the city got merged again. Just tell me which city are we talking about. So the independent power grids came to be in like 1950s, maybe in the 20th century, in the mid 20th century, maybe.
Manjuna,
We got
can you
next
show the
one.
okay, one of the participants is asking to see the text question once for that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think we can move. The 10th question. So this is an Amul ad, very recent. Jamming is raging and butter is calming. Take a deep breath. So you can see there's a car. And tell me, what is this about? I think jamming is a very helpful clue here. So what is this, or who is this Amul ad about? Jammy is a very nice clue here. You can see there's like a traffic jam. We go to the next one, the 11th question. So this is a comic strip from a comic set in World War II. Just tell me who's the great soul on the right slide. You can see the image here. The German text is not really helpful, so I'll just not read it here. The dialogue is not helpful, so it's not much. You don't need to read into that. I'll just say this, that think about in World War and someone is fighting against the people, so fighting against the army, and think about who is fighting for the freedom. Great, he's a very great soul, and that is a very good clue here. Think about a great soul. And obviously, the character here is very helpful for cracking it. Look at the face. Yeah, we'll go to the next one. 12th question. The Southern California Logistics Airport is a public airport located in the city of Victorville in California. It spans a large area of 2,300 acres and is mainly used as a transitional facility for commercial aircraft, basically where flights keep coming and going and you can store them. The airport also came into good use for a group of people in 2019 when they wanted to depict Oslo Airport, but for obvious reasons, they couldn't use the actual Oslo Airport as they couldn't reverse their actions in reality. So, what was it used for? Or tell me, who are the people who are using this Southern California Logistics Airport? There's an image here. I think that also will be helpful. Sometime in 2019 is when they used it, but you would have seen it in 2020. So just guess where they used it, and that is more than enough. You don't need to tell anything extra. I'll just show the question again. So it's a airport in California, which is used as a storage facility for commercial aircraft. It came into good use for this particular group of people in 2019 when they wanted to depict the Oslo airport. But since they were performing something, they couldn't actually use the Oslo airport because Oslo airport was in use for normal people. So what were these people using for? Though they used it in 2019, you would have seen their actions in 2020. All right, just have a look at the image again. Yeah, we'll go to the next one. This is a painting showing the inauguration of one of the greatest engineering marvels built in the 19th century. So what entity is being depicted here? The entity in question was equally jam-packed in 2021. It was built in 19th century, but it came into news very recently again. You would have seen a lot of memes about this. It was in the news because it was jam-packed. we'll go to the next one. X is a term used for certain community of people working as Google employees. This term was first used in 2006 for the inclusivity of the community within Google. It is a wordplay of the company name and an umbrella term used to identify the people from the community. So the term is basically what the original company is here, that's Google, and it has a wordplay. So you take another word that represents the community and you put it in the original name of the company, Google. For the community, I think this image is very helpful. Look at it and take a guess at what community might be. Just a reminder to all the participants, make sure you've answered in the right question numbers. This is question 14. So just think about what Google employees would be called and then try to make a wordplay out of the community that is being represented. The next one, question 15. So April 2020 saw an announcement by a certain Dirty Dozen, much to the anger of the fans around the world. Wolverhampton Wolves and Southampton FC decided to poke fun at the clubs on social media. And what announcement are we talking about here? So you can see here that Southampton says on behalf of the 2014-15 champions, we would like to extend our congratulations. And Wolves say that they were the Premier League champions in 2018-19. Wolves and Southampton didn't actually win Premier League in those years, but they still claim that they won it. So what announcement by a certain Dirty Dozen would make them make these announcements? The announcement was in April 2021. Sorry for the thing. Announcement was in April 2021. So a certain person made this announcement and dangled a lot of fans around the world. Okay, we'll go to the next one. So on the occasion of International Museum Day, here are a couple of pictures from the showcases at the Spanish Museum dedicated to which famous artist. A reference to this person was also found in the 2017 series, whose name literally translates to the House of Paper. So I'll just show you the images. So this is a work of a certain artist, and this is a mustache, as you can see. These were references to a certain artist from Spain, and that artist was a reference to that artist was also found in a very famous 2017 series, whose name literally translates to the House of Paper. So this is the 16th question. the mustache on the left would be very helpful again. Okay, we'll go to the next one. From here are 4 star mark questions. So these are questions that will help decide if there is any tie between two teams. We'll start with the 17th question. One of the most popular startups originating from India has now decided to drive out into the e-mobility space. A picture of the app for the smart electric scooter called App Scooter is here. So which Indian startup are we talking about? They've started to delve into the e-mobility space. They're giving e-scooters. So look at the app. I think that is a very helpful hint here. All right. Question 18. So tour guides in New York City started luring gullible tourists into Center Park by saying that X was shot at the Cherry Hill Top Mountain that is shown in the image here. And in fact, X was not shot at this place. Rather, it was shot on the Warner Brothers lot, the sets provided by Warner Brothers. This led to an increased media attention as many tourists started mistaking the landmark for this original set. And so, what did the tourists claim to be shot here? I'll just show the image here. So tourists claim that something was shot at this location, but it was actually shot at the Warner Brothers location. So what did they falsely claim to be shot here in Central Park, New York City? Please go to the next one. So in the following episode of Rick and Morty, okay, yeah. So this last 2 questions are video and audio questions. We'll play them at the end. So before that, we'll just do a rollback. We'll start with the 18th question and go back to the first question. So if you have any doubts or if you wanted to see any question again, this is your chance. After this, we'll just finish the last 2 questions and finish the quiz. So we'll do a quick rollback from here. 18th question was this: a landmark in New York, which was mistaken for something else. Make sure your numbering is right. So it's the 18th question. Coming to the 17th question. This popular startup has started selling electric scooters using their app called App Scooter. Question 16. So which artist is being dedicated here with these 2 words? Question 15. Southampton and Wolves are congratulating themselves after an announcement by a Dirty Dozen in April 2021. So which announcement? Question 14. X is a term for certain community of people working as Google employees. Question 13. So one of the greatest engineering marvels, which was again in news in 2021. Question 12. This California airport was used for some activity that you would have seen in 2020. Question 11. Just tell me which real life person is being depicted here. Question 10. Who is this Amul ad about? Yami is raging. Question 9. This European city has two halves because of two different power grids. Which city? Question 8. What is this? It should be forgotten by people. Question 7. These two movies. One of them, the first one was released in 2021. Because of it, an older version was also again came into popularity. Question 6. What English idiom was given rise to this connectivity? Question 5, just fill in the blanks, 3 words. Question 4, what is the nickname of these two islands that are present across this imaginary line? Which character's costume was inspired by this Mongolian dress? Identify this person who helped a lot in the pandemic. And finally, the first question, that was which famous hangout place is this print ad about? Okay, we'll go to the 19th question now. So this is the 19th question. In the following episode of Rick and Morty, Rick tries to explain a concept in quantum mechanics by saying, get into the cupboard, but don't think of it, as a nod to a certain concept called X, where the consequences are governed by the decisions we make. In this episode, the animators also pay tribute to a certain experiment, which was the first attempt to explain X by adding whimsical elements. So, very helpful clue here is get into the cupboard, but don't think of it. So ID, what is this concept or the person the experiment is done by? Show the video now.
So in conclusion, you're both equally mercurial, overly sensitive, clingy, hysterical bird brain homunculi. And I honestly can't even tell the two of you apart half the time because I don't go by height or age, I go by amount of pain in my ass, which makes you both identical. All right, everything resolved? Everybody nice and certain about their position in my world?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Sit still, arms down. I'm gonna do this again. This time, be like Grandpa.
You mean drunk?
What's that?
And
You got something to say?
away we go. Away we go.
Huh, that's weird. Oh my god. Oh
What?
my god. The
What?
son of a bitch is gonna kill me!
What?
The son of a bitch is gonna kill me!
What?
Volatile, unfeeling sociopath. Don't you get it? Don't you get it? The other Rick isn't trying to merge us anymore. He thinks he can save his own skin by using the crystal to kill me. He probably figures it's easier to eliminate one of the possibilities rather than merge them. I have to admit, it was always in the back of my mind too. The difference is I would never do it. Until now.
Rick, what the hell are you doing?
Saving our lives! After he takes me out, he's gonna be coming for you!
Who?
Me! Who?
Ah!
You see that? Get down! I told you! He's a psycho! He's lost it! The time fracture must have made him crazy! I don't know what to do! Oh god, now there's 3 of them! We're outnumbered! Get in the cupboards! Wait, don't do that! They'll know! Wait, think about getting in the cupboards, but don't really! Ah! Is this what you want, you sick f***s? You want to see children die?
So a certain concept in quantum mechanics. Think about him saying get into the cupboard, but don't think of it. very famous concept, and pretty much everyone would have studied this in their 12th grade. We'll go to the final question of the quiz, that is the 20th question. So besides the stunning cast and breathtaking sets, one of the most main contributors to the magic of Netflix's 2020 show, Bridgerton, is the music in the show. Composer Chris Bowers decided to use orchestral covers of recent pop songs to make things relatable. So identify one such cover, which will play to you now. So keep in mind, this is a orchestral cover of a famous pop song. Just tell me which is the original song.
Manjana, just a second before you play the audio. Yeah. Anybody has joined using the WebEx browser, there might be issues in listening to audio or video. So preferably like have one member who's using the WebEx app. It's just a technical limitation of WebEx. We can't really help with one. So, yeah. Over to you, Manjana. So that is the cover. We'll play again from like the chorus part and that was the song, and that is the end of this quiz. Please make sure you submit. We'll keep the form open for another 30 seconds. Manjana, can you show the text slide for the question for the last one? Guys, we will not be able to keep the form open for another 5 minutes since it would give the teams time to submit. See, we already mentioned that there is an issue with forms if you refresh the page and that would not be saving your answer. So we hope that most of you, if not all, at least would have kept some backup as to where, like, or at least typed your answers somewhere. So if your team has not submitted responses, we will look into what we can do if we can open it for a few seconds or not. Give us a second.
We'll accept the responses of those people who can submit it right now. We've asked you guys to keep a backup. So if you haven't kept a backup, I'm sorry, there's nothing really we can do about it. But for those of you who have kept the backup and somehow had that deleted during submission, we will accept your responses in a bit. Note that if you've already submitted your responses, we won't be accepting another copy. And we won't be showing any of the questions again because we don't want you adding any new answers or anything of that sort.
Guys, we'd hope you stay back and not immediately leave after submitting your answers because we will be showing the answers for the quiz immediately. Once the quiz is run, we will be doing the corrections and letting you know the results and the details for the finals. So even in case you're not selected for the finals, we'd love to have you guys at least come in and watch the finals. That would be great. We will not be able to declare like the results as to who will be going for finals right now because we need to do the corrections from the answers that you submitted because there may be some subjective answers. And yes, for Google Form, if you have to submit, it is going to ask the details again. Like, I don't think there's anything you will be able to do from our end on that. That's just Google Forms with Google Forms. So. Yes, we will be showing the answers for the questions on this meeting itself.
Okay, we've reopened the form for another half a minute. Please finish off the submission now itself. After I close it, I'm not going to reopen it again. And no duplicate submissions or anything of that sort. Do it right now. Thank you. Abhilash, the form has been reopened. The form has been reopened. Do it now. I'll be closing the form in another 5 seconds. If you haven't filled any of the answers, I'm sorry. Submit the form right now.
Guys, we will not be showing the questions again. If you are unsure if your team has, like, if your answers have been corrected or not, like, let us know your team name. And we request you to stay back because we will be showing the answers just now. Like, once we close the form, we are going to present the answers immediately for the quiz. So that at least you guys can know what the answers are. We haven't started screen sharing for that yet. We're just waiting for the submissions to be done.
The form has now been closed. I gave an extra buffer of a few seconds even after I spoke. So I hope everyone's gotten their answers in.
Yeah, Manjunath, your screen is visible.
Yeah, please. So we'll start with the freshers quiz answers. Okay, any guesses? This was House. Yes. Second question, the person. Sonu Sood is right. Yes. Question 3, which character the costume was inspired by this dress? Someone said Natalie Portman. Yeah, but the character we wanted, so we'll give points only for Padme from Star Wars. Fourth question. Yesterday and tomorrow is right. So it's the imaginary line is the international date line. Tomorrow and yesterday, yeah, both works. The order doesn't matter for that question. Fill in the blank for question 5. Imposters among us. Yes, that is right. Question 6. What idiom? All roads lead to Rome. That is right. Yes. Question 7. Which movie? That is Justice League. So the older one was 2017, and people started watching that again after the Snyder Cut was released. What is Sehwag referring to here? "36 all out." Yes, technically 36 for 9, but the score of 36, the batting collapse at Adelaide. Which European city? Berlin is the right answer. So Berlin was split into 2 parts. Who was the Samuel ad about? Yes, that is the Dravid Cred ad, Indranagar Pugunda. Who is the great soul that is being referred here? Gandhi is right. The classes in the comic book helped. Who used the Southern California Logistics Airport? Tenet is the right answer. The Tenet airplane crash scene. So, which 19th century engineering marvel? Suez Canal is right. You would have seen this very recently. What are these Google employees called? Yeah, Gagler is the right answer. Question 15. What announcement? Yeah, the European Super League is the right answer. International Museum Day, which Spanish artist was dedicated here? Yes, Salvador Dali is the right answer. So you would have seen Salvador Dali's mustache. And the 2017 reference being Money Heist, La Casa de Papel. And which startup? Ola is the right answer. Color scheme would have helped for this question. Ola Electric. And so what did the tourist say was shot here? Yeah, the Friends opening sequence. It looks like that, but it was actually shot on the Warner Brothers set. The 19th question, anybody has a guess? The Rick and Morty episode? Yeah, the Schrodinger's cat and quantum uncertainty. So quantum uncertainty was the principle, and the Schrodinger's cat is what being referred here. So which original song was covered here? Yes, Wildest Dreams, the right answer. Right, Taylor Swift. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining.
I hope you guys aren't tired of filling Google Forms because we have another for you. This one is more of you guys to express your interest in joining QC. I hope the freshers quiz was a little bit insightful and like into college quizzing and like you guys had fun participating regardless of how you've done. So I will be sending that form. The finalists will be announced shortly over our Instagram page or however we'll get in contact with you based on the details we have. So I'll be sending that form now. Please do fill it out. In case some of your friends have left, please send it to them as well. Okay, I've shared the link of the form. Please fill it out if you've participated in the freshers quiz. Like I said, it will be to express your interest in joining the club, so it's pretty important if you want to join. Besides this, I want to tell you guys that the finals will be held on the 20th of May. That's day after tomorrow. We'll get in contact with the finalists soon. So yeah.
Also, guys, we will be having the finals for the quiz on 20th of May. So that's the after tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. So we definitely want the finalists to be there. And everybody else, we'd love to have you guys watch the stream. We will be streaming that quiz as well, just like we were streaming the prelims on YouTube.